Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we welcome you all back to our broadcast. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, I think most of us have heard the saying that laughter is good for the soul. It's great medicine. And our next guest has been able to help serve up some laughter for us, whether we're talking about his career in stand-up or through the bullet. We're excited to welcome Jim Florentine to our program today to talk to us about his journey in the entertainment industry, what it's been like for him to have people laughing and thinking along the way, and of course let you guys know how to stay connected with him. Jim, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, Jim, one of the things I noticed when I was prepping for your segment is your book, Everybody is Awful Except You. And one of your reviewers, Zachariah, said on Amazon about your book, this is legitimately the only book I've ever read where I'm laughing out loud. You have that effect on people, Jim. You're able to make people laugh at the things that you talk about, the stories you share, and also think. What has this journey been like for you in your career to be able to do that, to have people kind of forget about their problems for a while?
It's great, man. There's nothing like being in a live show. When I'll talk to somebody after a comedy show, and they're like, man, this is my first time ever seeing stand-up live. I've always saw it on TV. This is so much better live because you never know what's going to happen in that atmosphere. Everyone's together. It's almost like going to a concert and everyone bonding. You know, so as a comic, it's great to connect with the audience, make them laugh, forget their problems, whatever they're going through, and just, it's a great feeling. It's a great adrenaline rush for me on stage with the audience laughing at what I'm saying. Stuff that I come up with, hoping that they can relate to it, because you never know. You know, your friends might be able to relate to what you're saying, but a stranger's an audience. You got to be able to pull that off.
Exactly. And kind of the connection between the book Everybody's Awful Except You and the comedy special I mentioned, Jim, Bite the Bullet, is that you're able to give some real life examples of things in life, and of course, getting us to kind of take that journey along for you. Is that something you've always known you've had the gift for, Jim, to be able to say something that would make people have a reaction?
You know, I always wanted to be a band. I was more of like in the music and stuff, and I was a big stand-up comedy fan too. But at one point in my early 20s, I go, look, I need a job where I could be my own boss. I'm not good at listening to people. I don't want to sit in an office in a cubicle, so I got to get up on stage somehow and express myself, whether it's through music or comedy. And then once I started doing some open mic comedies, I'm like, this is the route I want to go. You know, and you don't know if you're going to make it. You have no idea. You just keep going and going. And when I started making a living, just even like $300 a week, you know, a few years into my career, I'm like, to me, I made it. I'm like, I'm making a living at what I love doing. Even though it wasn't much, I was still living with my parents at the time, but I was like, this is awesome. So everything else is just a bonus.
Yeah. And I think so many people can relate to that, Jim, because it's something about when you're passionate about something, being able to share that with people. I mean, knowing that the rest is going to come. And you've been able to kind of enjoy this ride over the years. I mean, people have been able to, of course, be able to join you when it comes to your stand-up in person, but also, of course, through albums. I mentioned, of course, the book. And now you have on YouTube for people to be able to enjoy Bite the Bullet. Talk to us about using these online platforms. What has that been like for you? You'd be able to see kind of the progression we've gone through in technology that's made you be able to amplify your message.
Well, the whole model of the industry changed. You know, it used to be either you get an HBO comedy special or Comedy Central comedy special, and that was the only two avenues. And there was only so many slots for that. You know, maybe 10 comics between the two networks would get one every year, so it was really tough. And then all of a sudden, you know, the internet came along and all these different sites, and it's like, oh, now you can put your own stuff out there. You just got to get your audience to come see it. So now you get your exposure on your own and try to figure out how to win fans over and get them to your site and all that stuff. So it's really helped comedy out, where you don't have to rely on that, you know, those four guys that can get an HBO special and all that. So you could just do it on your own, and that's what a lot of comics are doing. If they can't get a Netflix special, you film it, you put it for free on YouTube, you get more people watching it. Then instead of like, you know, on Amazon Prime where you have to rent it or buy it, you get more eyes on it because it's free, and then you can make donations if you want, so you make your money back that way.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that. At the time we're having this conversation, I mean, less than a month after it's been released, Bite the Bullet has almost 20,000 views on it on YouTube already. And you've been sharing clips of it as well, Jim, through your social media, especially through Instagram, I noticed when I was prepping for this segment. What has that been like for you? I mean, it's one thing, of course, for those who were in the audience with you when you were filming Bite the Bullet, but now you have this online audience able to kind of give you the reaction after the fact. What has that been like for you to engage with them?
It's good because you want to, you put like some preview clips out there, so hopefully they'll go watch the whole special. That's part of promoting it because you're your own promoting machine. With Netflix, everybody has Netflix. They don't need to promote it. They'll put it in the top tier when you turn on your Netflix. So that's it. But when you do it on your own, it's like it's on you to promote it and get it out there. So every different avenue, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, hit every spot and, take out some ads and do whatever you got to do to manipulate it to try to get it to people, even people that aren't your fans, to finally see it and go, wow, who is this guy? I never heard of him before. This is really funny.
Yeah. Right, and that also goes back to the book then, Jim, because that's one of the reviews I saw too. Is someone was saying, hey, if you've never heard of Jim Florentine before, or you're a fan of his, you're going to enjoy this because it is so relatable, and I think that's part of the gift you've been able to have. Podcasting is another thing. I know our show here in Mississippi, we benefited from that when I first started 19 years ago. We didn't have podcasting. Now it's a part of the platform, even for radio. Has that also been something that's been fun for you to kind of have that engagement through audio using that format?
Yeah, I originally started doing radio. I did it in college, and then I was interning at a station. Then I got a night shift at the station. Then I got the morning show. It was a little, 300 watt or 500 watt station in New Jersey. And then I realized, it's like I can't really say what I want to do. I had a DJ business. I was DJing in rock clubs. If I cracked a joke, they're like, don't make the joke, just say the time and the weather and move on. So I was frustrated. That's why I started doing stand-up, but I always wanted to kind of go back into radio. And then when podcasting came along, I go, this is perfect because this is basically my own radio show, and I could do what I want and say what I want. And it could be 23 minutes or it could be an hour and a half. There's no set time.
Yeah, awesome. Well, a lot for us to look forward to. Again, everyone, Jim Florentine has been our guest. Make sure you guys do check out the special Bite the Bullet on YouTube, as well as, of course, check out the book and the podcast as well. Everybody is awful except you. Jim, how can our audience stay connected with you as well?
What's that?
I was just asking, how can they stay connected with you?
Just my website, JimFlorentine.com. All my Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff is up there, and that you can watch the special through the link there, and that's where all my stuff is. Basically, that's the easiest spot.
All right. Well, Jim, congratulations to you again, and thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. Thanks.
All right. You take care. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live for our radio audience here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.